breaking news, a dramatic day in court for President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Flynn is in federal district court in Washington for a sentencing hearing on charges of lying to prosecutors about his activities during the 2016 Trump campaign and the transition in 2017. He had been hoping for leniency in return for his extensive cooperation with the Mueller investigation, but the hearing took an unexpected turn just in the past hour. Let's go right to our Justice Department correspondent, Pete Williams. He's outside the courthouse in Washington. Pete, explain what's happened here. Essentially, we're now looking at a delay in what we thought would happen today.
No sentencing today, and it's not clear when there will be sentencing. Both sides suggested to the judge that 0 jail time would be appropriate for Michael Flynn. That's what his defense lawyers said. Robert Mueller's prosecutor said that would be warranted and appropriate. But instead, both sides ran into a blowtorch of concern from the judge, Emmett Sullivan. He said that he is very concerned about the conduct here. First, he questioned whether Flynn really meant to plead guilty because of a comment that his lawyers made in a previous court filing that suggested maybe he wasn't as culpable as others because he was never warned that lying to the FBI was a crime. The judge said it's a very serious offense for someone who is a senior White House official to lie to the FBI in the Justice Department. And then the judge strongly signaled that he was not ready to accept their recommendation and might well impose prison time based on Flynn's conduct. He said that arguably, he said to Flynn, you sold your country out by acting as an unregistered lobbyist for Turkey during the campaign. And at one point, he even asked Mueller's prosecutors if they had ever considered charging Flynn with treason. He asked for a break to give the lawyers for Flynn a chance to decide whether they wanted to delay based on the judge's strong warnings that he might impose prison time. And after about 20 minutes, they came back and said, okay, Your Honor, we want to take you up on your offer to delay. The judge also said when the court hearing reconvened here a short time ago that he didn't mean to imply that Michael Flynn had committed treason. He just said he wanted to know whether the government ever considered charging that. Now, one other point, Kate, what the judge said at one point is the more you cooperate, the more you cut back your potential sentence. But it's not clear how much more cooperating Michael Flynn can do. Remember, he pleaded guilty a year ago and has already met with the Mueller team 19 times. Clearly, the Mueller team thought he was done cooperating, or they wouldn't have wanted to go through with this sentencing today, Kate. So we'll be back here at a date to be determined while this now continues to hang over Michael Flynn's head.
Yeah, and that did seem to be the question, whether they were delaying, in a sense, giving him the opportunity to continue cooperating with the government. That seems to be what the judge wants now.
Yes, that's the only way the judge said he could potentially cut back on his sentence if he continues to do more cooperating. Now, we know he's still doing it. Just yesterday, federal prosecutors charged 2 of the people that Flynn worked with when he was doing this work for Turkey without registering as a foreign agent, without telling the government he was acting on behalf of the government of Turkey. And the prosecutor said today that Flynn's assistance was very important in getting the charges against them, Kate.
All right, Pete Williams outside the court. Let me bring in Justice Department veteran and NBC News legal analyst Chuck Rosenberg in Washington. This has been quite a day, Chuck. And as a former attorney in those offices, what do you see happened here?
Kate, this is truly unusual. As Pete said, the general's cooperation was substantial. It extended over a long time, and 19 meetings. And by the way, when prosecutors make a recommendation to a judge for a reduction based on substantial assistance, it's not something they do lightly. The prosecutors on Mueller's team are highly experienced. They know what substantial assistance looks like. And it's not clear to me that General Flynn really can give very much more. So while the sentencing today is delayed, I imagine we might find ourselves back in more or less the same position in some number of weeks or months. What prosecutors could try to do is lay out the cooperation in more detail for the judge. The judge ultimately determines the sentence. There's no question about that. But I think it's unfortunate for the government and for the general that they couldn't do this today in the way that they anticipated doing it.
Although presumably the judge has much more information than we all do in the public sphere because the documents have been redacted so much.
Well, that's exactly right, Kate. There are redacted documents. There's also something called a pre-sentence report that the judge sees, but that the public never sees. And so the judge has much more information than we do. All judges know, all defendants know, and all prosecutors know that the judge determines the ultimate sentence. What's unfortunate, though, again, is that prosecutors don't make these motions for substantial assistance or recommend no jail time lightly. In those 19 meetings I had with General Flynn, he must have provided very important information.
All right, Chuck Rosenberg with us, and we've just learned that this will now be delayed until March 13th, so quite a while for us to digest what's happened today. We will, of course, follow all developments on this throughout the day. Today, we'll have full details tonight on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. For now, I'm Kate Snow, NBC News in New York.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.